Hello everybody, we are here with your Heim ADC guide. So we're going to be grabbing ourselves the pretty standard start right now, and that is going to be Death's Toll going into our Berserker's Shield. This is really the most common start that people are running right now, although this is going to get a little bit of a love tap. The Death Toll is going to have a little bit less sustain on it, so it won't quite be as safe as it is right now. Although, honestly, a big reason why we get the Death Toll is because of the ending item that it gives. And then the Berserker Shield is going to be giving a little bit less power, so maybe you won't be going into that quite as early, but they're all still going to be very good, very viable items, even after those nerfs. So, of course, on ADC, we're going to be starting over here on the red buff. Some people like to get the 3 on Heim first. It lets you do some cheeky stuff. I actually don't think that the cheekiness warrants getting it first. It can be kind of fun to just get those AoE autos after AoE autos after AoE autos, because it resets your auto attack chain. But I would still recommend going ahead and getting your 1 first. It's a lot easier to deal with, and it's going to give you that nice burst damage if you do end up getting into a little fight over in the duo lane, and it tends to provide some good poke. You can see right there I got some nice damage on the Cthulhu, even though I was just trying to clear the way. So Heim's big thing is vision. So a lot of his abilities are going to give vision on top of what you would normally expect from them. Right now I'm looking right here at this guy. I'm going right on to this Cthulhu. I'm going to throw down my 1 using my 2 for the channel. I'm going to slow down the Anther and get a bunch of damage onto the Cthulhu and the Anther right there using that AoE. And it looks like we're going to be able to pick up a quick first blood and a double over here in duo. There is a lot of action in the duo lane very quickly. You have to be aware of that potential, both being the aggressor and being aggressed upon. The second somebody gets level 2 in duo lane, somebody is going to die. A lot of first bloods over in the duo lane this season. So at level 2, I got my 2, and at level 3, I'm going to get my 3. So your 1 gives you massive vision. You can see the area all around the edge of that circle. That is the vision the Heim 1 is going to give you. And reminder that vision is important on Heim because of that passive. He gets that extra passive physical power per stack for being able to have vision on enemy gods. So we want to be able to have vision on as many people as we can, because we get that bonus damage on all of our on our physical power, which is going to affect everything, which is wonderful. The ability that I like to rank up first right now on Heim is actually the 1. Back on the day, it used to be the 2. The Horn used to be a much better ability than it is now. So I like to rank up the 1 to max first. The Horn has gotten significant nerfs over the years. It is still a really good ability. Really easy to land because it is just this massive AoE. And it's going to help you catch up to targets because of the slow. And it's going to give you knock up immunity, which is really one of the most important things that this does. So if Anther's going to try to jump in on me, what I should do is start channeling my 2, because he'll land down on top of me. I will not get knocked up, and then I can immediately right click to cancel my Horn and hit him with a knock up right on back. So you can cancel out of Heim's too early, and it is advisable to do so when you cancel out of that ability or when it finishes naturally. It is going to do the knockup in that small little ring around you that you can see. The cone is the damage over time in the slow. The little circle around you is that knockup. So if I cancel it a little bit early, boom, it goes and hits everybody right there with a knockup.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy spotted.
So I need to go ahead. Just gonna chill out right here and get myself a couple couple more waves of XP. Make sure I've got both of my 3s down. On the map, you're gonna see that there is a line between my 2 3s. That line is actually a vision line. So if somebody runs through that, they are going to give vision to my team, which of course increases, to myself I should say, which is going to increase my damage because of my passive. And it's also basically like a built-in warding system. It's kind of like Heim having a tripwire. So you can set up your 3s not only to utilize them for the actual teleports, but you can also utilize them for the vision that they can give. My Bogus wants to go for the invade here, but I really just need to back. So I'm just going to tell him to be careful. I'm going to go for the back because I can get a full Berserker's shield right now, and I can start heading back to my lane. Now, your 3 does not have a max distance. That means that I could technically teleport all the way over back to lane right now. I don't recommend that. Teleporting all the way back to lane is really risky because it'll put your getaway ability on cooldown for a really, really, really long time. You preferably want to use your 3 in small bursts. That way it is a much shorter cooldown. So the closer that our little teleports are, you can see, like, if I teleport from here right back to my thing, right now it's going to be on cooldown for about 30 seconds. If I were to try to teleport from lane to lane, it would go on cooldown for like 2+ minutes. So I want to make sure that I'm being careful about how I am actually using my teleport. Also, the closer that it is together, the swifter that you will teleport through them. So if they're very, very close together, you'll actually almost like instantly be going through these once the teleport timer is up. And if they're farther away, you have to stand on that marker longer to actually get through them. So our level order on Heim is we're going to be 4, 1, 2, 3. Level up that ulti whenever we can because we're going to get so much good damage out of it. Then R1 for the damage, R2 because we get a little bit of slow increase off of this ability, and then finally grabbing that 3 last. All it's going to do is reduce the cooldown. The cooldown scale, so basically it's just going to mean that your teleports are going to be faster. But if we're only using it for short teleports anyway, it's actually not that big of a deal whether it's going on a cooldown. So I'm going to use my teleport aggressively right here, so I can try to teleport right in by the anther and go for the ultimate. Not going to be able to land it. If I would have landed it, I probably could have forced his beads or something. But that's just me using my teleport aggressively, trying to get in there onto the anther. And now my teleport is still already going to be back up in 5 seconds, so I'm not actually worried about the cooldown aspect of that really at all. Should be noted that Heim does have a auto attack chain. So his first couple of auto attacks are AoE, and then his third auto is going to do some additional damage, but it is going to be single target.
No funny business.
So I'm going to throw out my sword right here into the jungle. It's going to give me some vision on the Mercury if he tries to go in this way. So a lot of the times when you're trying to clear the wave, you're going to want to go ahead and use 2 autos and then an ability, because that will reset your auto attack chain and it'll help you clear the wave a little bit faster. Mercury's ulting in on this. I'm actually not very afraid of him at all. So I'm just going to sit here with my Bacchus. I've got a couple of 3s out. So if I need to teleport away from this, I can. But when I'm trying to clear the wave, a lot of the times I'm going to go auto, auto, use my 1. Auto, auto, use my 2. So if I go 1 auto, 2 auto, clear. 1 auto, 2 auto, clear. You can also use your 3 for this. So this is kind of the cheeky strat that we talked about earlier with just getting AoE auto attacks over and over and over again. So you can actually use your autos and then use your 3, and it will reset your auto attack chain. So you've consistently got these AoE autos going off. It's a little cheeky, but it'll consistently give you these AoE autos. Some people find that that's actually quicker clear on the first wave, but just so you know kind of about that cheeky strategy. The one negative to this is, of course,
An enemy has been
you're just throwing out your threes a little bit willy-nilly, and so they're not going to be super positioned for effective teleports.
two down, baby.
Now I'm going to go ahead, back myself up, and give myself my attack speed boost. And I'm going to go directly this game into a fail knot here on Heim. So by this point, this is where a lot of builds will start to get a Aussie. For the lifesteal, I myself am going to get a fail knot. I like the higher cooldown on Heim a little bit earlier. I find that to be more beneficial than actually grabbing the lifesteal here that early.
This makes stealing easy.
That extra CDR is going to let me get my ultimate up faster. The faster my ultimate is up, the faster that I can start looking for kills. Your ultimate is also CC immune, and it is a dash, so it also makes for a pretty decent getaway skill. Particularly when your teleport is down, you can use that as an effective getaway skill.
Just keep in watch.
So I want to make sure at all times that my 3 is pretty close to being around me. So when I'm walking down a lane like this, I'm going to be constantly updating where my 3 is on the map. I want to make sure that I've got one very close to me that I can actually walk into, and then one just a little bit back, so that way I've got a nice, safe teleport distance to get to. Looks like there's quite a few people walking over to this side of the map. Got the Mercury and the Nuwa over at the Oracle, so I'm just going to be safe. Back it up, and I'm going to grab my Shell. Shell and Aegis this game would both be viable actives. The Aegis would be good for the Nuwa ultimate. But the Shell this game I'm still going to find more beneficial because of the block stacks for the Mercury and the Anhur. By the time we get into the ultra late game, and the Mercury has a bunch of crit online, being able to block 2 Mercury crits. Each one of those are basically going to be hitting as hard as Nuwa ulti. So for our standard combination here on Heim, we're oftentimes going to be starting off by trying to poke with our 1 or close the gap with our 2. So we'll throw that 1 into the air. It can stay into the air for 10 seconds, so it's going to give us nice vision. And we can also just kind of throw it down when we think somebody's going to be in the range. We can use our 2 to slow somebody and to keep them inside of the 1 range. So right there, I'm looking for autos. I've got my 1 in the air. The second that I tell my 1 to land, it's got a travel time all the way over. So I hit him with the 2 to slow him down so he can't walk out of my 1 circle. Gonna go ahead and do it again. You can see Anhur down to half HP. Gonna let my Thanatos pick up a quick kill right there. Now Cthulhu is dashing in on this. I'm gonna ulti him, and I'm gonna face him back in the direction that I want him to launch. So this is probably one of the most important things on our Heim, is the direction that you actually are facing is the direction that you are going to launch somebody with your Heim ultimate. So I don't want to launch him towards his tower, obviously. I want to launch him away from it. So I ulti him, and then I immediately turn my body. So that way his ult, by the time it actually goes off on him, it's going to launch him away from the tower. So it's not the direction that you initially hit them. It's the direction that you hit them with that secondary part when you actually beat them down with the bat. So if I want to get away from a target, Anhur was waiting for me back here. I'm not going to be able to get away from this one. So if I want to get away from a target, then I'm going to yoink them in the direction opposite to where I'm trying to go. And if I'm trying to kill a target, I want to go ahead and ulti them away from whatever is going to be the safest for them. Maybe they've got a leap, so I want to ulti them away from a wall that they can leap over. Maybe they're trying to run away into a tower, so I want to ulti them away from the tower. Now that I've got my fail not online,
Your middle
I've got
tower is under
20%
attack.
pen right now, and more importantly for me, 20% CDR. Now I can actually see
Attack the gold
that they're
fury.
going to do the Gold Fury. I've got my Thanatos kind of nearby. I've got my Bacchus kind of nearby. So I'm going to go for a really long teleport here in order to get back to this fight because I think there might be some kill potential.
Another patriot has fallen.
So this is going to bring me all the way back over, and it's going to bring me right on top of
On my way.
that Anhurt, which I'm going to be able to grab for a quick pickup kill. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to finish this Cthulhu, but I do have my beads up. So maybe I can grab myself another one. I'll be able to get another one and a triple kill, and that is the type of situation where you're looking to do the really long teleport. So I see them over by the Gold Fury. I know that they're going to be low HP, and they're not going to be expecting me to be back there. So I bring myself all the way back in, give myself a nice position behind them, and I make it worth it because now my teleport's going to be down for another 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. Now that means I need to be really careful. So where beforehand I could play a lot more aggressive, now I need to be way more careful with my positioning until I can get it back up. So there's, of course, the pros and the cons to doing that kind of stuff. But as long as I play a little bit safe, I should mostly be fine. Gonna be spending a lot of time near and around my own jungle right now. Anner is actually gonna go very aggressive on this. He might be able to reach me. Doesn't look like he's quite going to be able to. He knows that my teleport is down for such a long time. So he's actually trying to go very, very aggressive on this. Now I'm going to get myself working into my Aussie, so I can start getting some sustain online. Aussie plus crits is just a natural combination made in heaven. Your Aussie, when you get low, gives you that bonus lifesteal. If you crit somebody when they are when you have the Aussie proc, you just get the biggest, thickest heals that you have ever seen. Now Heim typically isn't super a crit boy. He does have this minus scaling with crit. The reason why he has minus scaling with crit is because he has these slower auto attacks. So he only gets 70% of the crit value. Honestly, it basically evens out. So Heim has slower auto attacks, which means he basically crits harder, and then he has minus crit damage. It's totally fine. I personally don't have an issue building crit on Heim whatsoever. Some people find it sacrilegious to be building it because he has that minus
Play by the rules.
crit damage part. But for me, I find that it basically evens out. So if crit is the best build at the time for hunters, which it is right now, I just simply build crit on Heim. But when crit is out of the meta and you get a little bit more into the auto attack speedy, Heim tends to like those metas a little bit more.
Your right tower has been destroyed.
So for our matchups on Heim, Anhur is actually a really decent matchup for me
I don't need to use gloves.
because I can knock up immune myself. It actually gives me a very nice 1v1 into the Anhur. Anhur typically decimates people over in the lane. So anybody that relies on knockups, I'm good against. So you don't mind going against so much a Bacchus in the laning phase, an Anhur, anything like that, because you can immunity those knockups with your 2. Plus you also have the CC immunity on your ultimate as well that you can utilize. The one thing that you really care about on Heim that really messes you up is displacement. So somebody like a Sobek is a disaster for you because not only can they pluck you out of your 3, they can also hit you with the tail whip that will also get you out of there. So that kind of stuff is just an absolute nightmare for a Heim to deal with. So Tyr can be very annoying for being able to pull you out of places. Mercury can be annoying. Anybody that displaces you away from your 3 tends to be gods that you do not want to go against. So watch out for anybody that moves you out of your 3, because if you get displaced from your 3 and then you want to get the teleport off, you have to rechannel the entire time.
I got your back, brother.
So let's say it takes you 1 second to get the teleport off from your 3 at the distance that you're at. If you waited 0.8 seconds and then you get a little bit moved out of it, now you've got to walk back into it and wait once again the whole second for the time. So that is why you do not want to be in that against those gods. Now that we've gotten the Aussie online, we're going to be going into our Wind Demon. Going to give us a little bit more percent pen and up our attack speed a little bit as well. More importantly, we're going to have a bunch of percent pen, plus we got a little bit of flat pen from the Aussie, so our damage will be absolutely huge. Huge, I tell you. And then, of course, we'll be ranking up our Death's Toll into our Death's Temper. Death's Temper scales so well with crit because it gives you 35% bonus auto attack damage. That bonus auto attack damage is then getting the crit on top of it, and all of a sudden you are swinging. Probably not with the Heim, but with a lot of characters, you can actually get yourself over 1,000 damage crits, which is just silly. I mean, that's like a raw ulti right there in the form of an auto attack. Tyr's coming towards me, so I'm just going to use my 3 to go ahead and get myself right on out of this one. I'm going to try to turn on this Mercury, though. Going to get some nice damage right out there. I'm looking towards the Nuwa in mid. Going to throw my 1 right down towards him. Throw down my 3 just so I have it in the range of me. And I'm going to keep trying to chase this guy down. Just trying to get in range of my ultimate. I am going to get in range of it. Hit him in stealth. Puts me into a good spot. Now there's a Tyr behind me. I see he's coming. I want to wait on my 2. I'm going to start using my 2, so that way when he tries to hit me with that Fearless, I am not going to get knocked up by it. Still got my shell up. I need to be careful of the Anher right now. He is my priority target. Gonna throw another deep 3 right here. And continue to look towards the Anher. Got to keep my eye on this Tyr though, just in case he tries to go for me. So I'm going to pop my 2 right here. He can't hit me with that because I've got that nice knockup immediately. Going to pop my shell, going to pop my beads. Just a little teleport out of trouble. And now Cthulhu should be going down right here. I'm going to keep W King in, take the tower a little bit for my Thanatos, and we're going to be able to grab ourselves a couple of kills and maybe even get ourselves a Phoenix right here. So I'm going to once again make sure that I've got myself a couple of 3s nearby. Mercury is in a really scary spot right now, but my job is to focus on the Phoenix as the hunter. So I'm going to get this Phoenix ASAP, and then I'm going to quickly, whoop, just get myself a little bit teleport out of here. So let's go ahead and try to back it on up, and I'm going to try to make sure I'm not in a direct line of sight, just in case the Mercury is coming down for me. Constantly, as I am moving through the jungle, making sure to replenish my 3s, so I've got it in my range. Always want to make sure that I've got that 3 pretty close to me so I can get out. You can place it over walls. So a great strategy with Heim, say I'm fighting right here, is to throw a 3 over this wall as well. So that way if a fight breaks out, I can do a little teleport over a wall. A lot of gods obviously can't follow super easily over walls. So that oftentimes will help you with your great escape. Now I'm going to get my Death's Temper and continue to work on my Wind Demon, and I need to work on getting my shell upgraded sooner than later as well. So right now my goal in these fights is going to be to hit simply whatever is in front of me. I'm going to have a lot of crit, a lot of damage, a lot of pen. So whatever target is in front of me is going to be a fine target for me. Obviously, if I am getting dove by their whole back line, the preferential target is going to be somebody squishier like a Mercury, but I don't mind going for the tier if I absolutely have to. Speaking of the devil, I'm going to use my 2 right here. You can see tier constantly going right through me. He's already used his ulti, and you can see how much damage I'm doing to the tier. I simply do not have to be afraid of him. There is a new wall behind me, so I'm going to try to ulti myself and get a better position here. I'm using my 1 for the vision. I see the Anher around the corner.
Enemy ultimate down.
Now, I don't have beads up for 3 seconds, so I'm going to use my 2 here, so I cannot be knocked up, but it's not going to matter because the entire team is unfortunately going to come from behind me, leaving me no way to escape out of that one. Only need 300 gold on the Wind Demon, so I'm actually going to wait on the Wind Demon and grab that before I rank up my shell, and then we'll rank up our beat. So right now with the positioning, it is 4v5, so I have to be pretty careful, play very far back. I am also going to be in charge for a lot of our damage, so it's really me and Thanatos have to do all the damage, and then our Bacchus and our Tyr are going to be more on initiating and peeling duty. But also Heim has a lot of self-peel for himself, so I need to make myself very sparse right now and keep myself out of harm's way. And we need to start looking for quick picks. If we can get a pick at the start of these fights and turn a 4v5 into a 4v4, you can see right now the gold is 65 to 62k. That actually means that we have a massive gold lead on the players that are actually here, because you have to factor in the gold deficit of that 5th missing player. So as long as we can get a quick pick on somebody, we're actually not in a bad spot at all.
No funny business.
I would love to get this fire giant started up. We've got a little bit of vision. I'm gonna give myself a nice little teleport right here just to get me slightly out of harm's way. They're spending a lot of time going for our Thanatos, not paying attention to the fire giant. I'm gonna throw my 1 for the vision, so that way I can see them coming in. I know that there's nobody close enough to steal this. And now we're going to be able to secure the fire giant and quickly look in for a fight. Gonna quickly interrupt my 2 right there to get the knockup onto the Cthulhu. And I'm going to try to position myself behind my front line. I didn't want to walk around that right-hand side. I know that there's a Mercury behind us still, so I'm throwing down that 1 just to get some decent vision on him. And I can actually see back where he is, so I don't have to be worried about him currently unless he tries to ulti me through the mid lane, which he actually might try to do. This is kind of an awkward spot for us. We've already got the mid Phoenix down pretty low, but we should just go straight to right lane. I'm going to throw down my 1 once again for vision. It's going to give me vision on them behind that wall. Make sure I've got these constant 3s down for the teleports. We've got a bunch of creeps coming in from right now. We can actually look right towards this new wall. Tyr is really wanting to fight this one out. We're so close to getting the kill onto the new wall. This is the pick that we are looking for. She is at 1 HP. That's exactly what we needed. Unfortunately, our Tyr does go down. My job is going to be to focus this Phoenix and get it down for the boys. And her is quite low in the background. I hear the Mercury channeling, so I know he was coming in for the ultimate. Got to use my 2. Unfortunately, I'm going to get smited right there, and while it should have gone off, it unfortunately did not. Use my teleport to get myself back over to my team. And now my focus target is going to be this Heim. That time my 2 does actually go off, so I should be able to grab myself a kill here onto the Cthulhu, and we're going to be able to put this game away. So the best part about Heim is he is just so dang slippery. You've got the knockup immunities, you've got CC immunities, you've got a short distance teleport that you can use over and over again. And as with any hunter, you hit stupidly hard with just the Fail Not and the Wind Demon. Those crits, when you get that temper online at the very end, plus 35% damage on top of a crit, plus damage, absolutely nonsensical damage that hunters are putting out, which is why their items are getting nerfed, guys. And that is your Heim ADC